Yo, what's good, everyone? Crossroad here, back with MPC Week 3 match again with the Detroit Cobalion and the Tulsa Huntails. So, I've got Carlos with me,
Hello.
as usual, and then I got special guest TPB
Hey,
and Austin.
hey.
Alright, let's get right into the match now. I'm not gonna talk much, so turn one. Yeah, I can let y'all commentate this because y'all seem to have it covered.
All right.
So turn one was fine. I liked what Jordan was doing. Predicted the Skarmory. That was all good.
hmm
And then turn two happens, and that's where it starts going downhill.
So
Yeah.
yeah, turn one. Oh, by the way, I want to point something out. I think Fire Dance is definitely 100% the best play because just in case if Skarmory had Brave Bird, that's just a minor thing. Anyway, so Blastoise protects and then he Giga Drains. Now I'm less like again. Volcarona should have been saved for the Skarmory because nothing can touch it except for Volcarona. But then I think if you like you do the calcs and stuff, um, special Blastoise doesn't actually like kill you, and at like +1 special attack, and you have Giga Drain. You trade to it KOs and you're faster. So the only issue is that it's physical Blastoise.
Yeah, which worked in this situation, but he should have switched out of the Volcarona, so it shouldn't have had the chance. And then he would have saw that it was physical and not stayed in with the Volcarona later. So definitely good bring for that situation, but if he made the right play and switched, then
Mm-hmm.
he would have been fine.
And what you were saying, you said that he should have brought, if he wanted to bring the Aqua Jet, he should have brought mixed Blastoise with Scold, Ice Beam, Aqua Jet, and Rapid Spin probably.
Yeah, something like that, because Blastoise with Ice Beam allows it to kill the Dragonite, even in multi-scale if it's like really specially offensive. But in this situation, are we in turn six yet?
So I'm in turn 6 now. Oh, wait, hold on. A little minor thing that I want to point out. I don't understand why he protected turn 4
Mm-hmm.
because it would have allowed, if he did switch out, it would have allowed him to have just like a free switch. Which,
Yeah.
because if he switched into D Knight, like you break the multi-scale. If he switches in, if he switches in like most things, the Aqua Jet there on turn 4 would have been fine, but whatever. I don't
Yeah.
necessarily agree with that protect, but it worked
Yeah,
out.
he was protecting too much.
I guess he wanted the lefties recovery, but it's whatever. But yeah, so turn 6, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, if he had Ice Beam there and he had like two, I think he needed 252, an expert belt, something like that. He can OHKO, but even if he went for Aqua Jet and broke the scale, he could have killed with Ice Beam. And while Rock Slide allows him here, as you see, to get the boost, which, I mean, you can't really predict that, but I'd still rather go for the OHKO than the 17%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So switching to Skarmory, pretty good whirlwind there. For me, I think Jordan pulled the trigger on Dragonite a little early, um, just because of that Skarmory, and since it didn't have Brave Bird, it probably would have revealed it first turn. You can most likely assume that it's more defensive, and it does have that Whirlwind set, especially because in a lot of Jordan's previous matches, he likes to run uh, like setup mons. So just a little thing there. So turn 10, just trading minor blows, and then continues to play the stall game. But Jordan wants none of that. Goes into Slow King, which is really the only thing now that can do like decent damage to Skarmory. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
Skarmory kind of just
Skarmory's a
holds his
big
team
problem at
back.
this point. Um,
So turn 13.
turn 13, that's where we're at.
So turn 14. Gets the Toxic off, which Sylveon has Heal Bell.
Yeah, well, I guess it staying in sort of worked because you force him to waste a turn going for Heal Bell, or he switches, predicting you to go into Double Aid, and you catch something with Toxic. But if you're doing that, I'd just go for Scald in case Diggersby comes in.
Yeah, a burn is definitely better than a toxic on a mon like Diggersby.
Yeah, definitely. And then Diggersby revealing the knockoff, just OHKOing the Slowking. D9
At this
extreme
point,
speed, yeah.
knockoff to a KO is pretty much everything. I think it maybe not the Dragonite, but all his bulky
Well, he
Pokemon
has Ice
just
Punch, but I think that does Ice Punch kill the Donphan?
it should. Here I can check. Ice Punch is gonna be doing a nice amount. Let's get to it. Not at this point. No, it doesn't OHKO it.
How much percent does it do?
So he wasn't Life Orb. He could have been Expert Belt. We don't know. If he was Expert Belt, it's 2 at KOing.
How
It is
much percent?
51 to
Because
60.
51. Okay, yeah. He was at 70%.
Yeah, that's why. But
With Rocks, actually, I think I had a chance. Because Rocks put him down to 63.
oh yeah, yeah, it was definitely a chance. Depending on the set, Adamant or whatever. Hard to tell.
But yeah, from now on, Jordan just kind of like trying to go for a differential at this point. There's really no way he can get past the Skarmory. Getting that plus attack, but he has Whirlwind, so he can't really do anything. So
Yeah, match is pretty much done once. Honestly, once full Corona is dead, there's not really a way he could kill Skarmory. So we talked it over a lot. There was definitely some debating over this, but we sort of think overall that Infernape and Electros should have came. Electros for defensive presence for Gengar and other things, and then
Electros.
yeah, and Infernape because it can do a ton of damage to everything.
Okay,
But
so go ahead.
what turn are we on?
I just played through the rest of the match because it's pretty.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty cut dry from there.
Yeah, I think really when it comes to this match, Jordan he has sort of a balanced team, except it can't switch in on Gengar or Diggersby, which are two of his big threats. And then you have only one thing that can even damage Skarmory. So it's balanced to an extent where it can't really do much versus the Huntails.
Yeah, and for me, if the Huntails brought either Scarf Diggersby or Scarf Gengar, that could have been like really big issue if he brought the Infernape. So that's really like the only like major thing with bringing the Infernape is that if it's not Scarf, which I wouldn't like it to be Scarf just because of the fact that you would have to be predicting switch-ins every single time, and you couldn't just click the save button.
But I'd say having that chance to predict is better than just losing once Volcarona dies.
Yeah, that's true, but like
it's either lose or have chances to predict.
it's really like, but the Electros does. Wait, no, it doesn't do well against Diggersby. It does well against the Gengar. What's his Diggersby switching?
Sort of a mix of the Doublade and Slowbro and Crest. But Slowbro gets killed. Yeah, none of them are actually switch-ins. He doesn't really. Maybe the Dragonite with multi-scale.
But that was a sweeper.
Yeah, exactly. He it's balanced to an extent where Diggersby and
Yo, if
the Gengar just beat him.
he brought like defensive D Knight, physically defensive D Knight with like stall, like roost and like toxic or something like that, that could have been pretty good. Although no, because he has ice punch.
Or if he had like Chestnut and Crest, he could kind of like, especially if it was a Scarf Diggersby, he could play around with like EQ with Chestnut could wall
Hmm.
or Crest, or like return Crest could wall or knock off Chest could wall.
Yeah, there. Just with what he has here in the battle, there's not much he can do. Definitely would have brought a few other mons, because, for example, Crest and Slowking are switching to the exact same things. But I'd say probably even Crest outclasses it in this match. But like, there's no reason to bring both of them.
Yeah, definitely, because they kind of save like have like a similar purpose, and they both have the same weakness. So
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to say with this match overall, the Huntails prepped optimally. Skarmory pretty much wins once the two fire types are dead, or Electros. Really, once everything that's super effective to it stab is dead, it just wins. So definitely optimal prep there. And I mean, the Gengar and Diggersby were great. Having the Ice Punch was amazing, and definitely the knockoff. Just, I'd say solid prep on his side. Nothing standout, but it worked very well.
um, really, it's kind of hard to try to critique Jordan's play like too much, just because if you look at the team matchup, it's like almost kind of next to impossible, just because how many answers the Huntails have to Jordan's Mons. It's really like the theoretical answers in quotations that Jordan has are kind of non-answers, because it just so happens that the offensive the offensive typings that the Huntails have, it just kind of counters, like if like let's say if Jordan resists one type, um, it doesn't resist the other type, and that's kind of the case with most of the Huntail's offensive mons. So Jordan definitely, next time you play this matchup, you definitely want to be a little bit more creative, because you're not gonna beat his team with your core. Um, you have to find like an alternate way of winning, because his core kind of just counters yours. So
And I think Jordan tried to set up and sweep when he needed to wear down the Tulsa Huntails team down first before
yeah,
trying to sweep.
and especially with Whirlwind Scarm,
Yeah.
because that just shuts down your entire game plan, and you're kind of just screwed.
Yeah. So I guess just to recap, the two coaches going forward. It's nice to see the Huntails pick up their first win. Definitely well played on his side, and I liked what I saw. Going into the season, I definitely really liked his team, so it's cool to see him bounce back this week, and I hope to see him further continue just solid prep and play. Definitely like how he built his team this week. And on Jordan's side, definitely like to see him maybe a little better prep on his side. I'd say there wasn't much he could do play wise once his full corona went down. But yeah, I just maybe like pull some creative stuff, like you said, Noah, or something like that.
Yeah. On the creative side of things, since Skarmory kind of walls his entire team, Dragonite has weakness policy, which is mainly to raise its attack, but it also raises its special attack by 2.
That's true.
And if he brought Flamethrower or Fire Blast, he could have basically killed the Skarmory and brought it down to sturdy. before it whirlwinds it out because he's at +2 special attack. So he could have done that.
I'm pretty sure +3 attack Fire Punch also brings it to sturdy.
Yeah. Yeah, either one could do its job probably. It just definitely should have brought the fire move for Skarmory. It's never good to have only one answer for one of their main walls.
Mm-hmm. And really it's like Skarmory sturdy is the main thing preventing Dragonite to sweep if it had Fire Punch or Flamethrower or whatever. So I think putting up rocks should have been a higher priority just to break sturdy, especially since it didn't have leftovers too. It had Rocky Helmet, so I think just getting up hazards or something just to break the sturdy before you start sweeping, because Skarmory sturdy is really like what's preventing the D-Knight sweep, and then once he whirlwinds you out, you'll lose the weakness policy.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so just a couple things to think about, and yeah, should be good. Alright, see you guys next time. Peace.